So these are again visuals coming in from Kyiv, where Prime Minister Modi and President Zelensky are meeting. This is the Indian consignment of assistance to Ukraine. Okay, so this is part of the medicines given under the Arogya Maitri initiative. So these medicines they save lives in times of disaster anywhere, and you can see President Zelensky thanking Prime Minister with a warm hug for this under the Arogya Maitri Cube, a portable hospital with necessary facilities are ready at the disaster site within 10 to 50 minutes. In which 200 people can be treated for about 72 hours. And this is what you see. This is the example of the cube. Various parts of the indigenous portable emergency hospital can be transported to the disaster site by helicopter or plane. So India, under its Arogya Maitri initiative, has provided these cubes which contains, of course, required medical assistance, equipment, medicines, and the portable tents which can be converted into hospitals. These that you see on your screen, out of the 17 consignments of aid, a few consignments did contain these portable hospitals, which are very important, especially in times of war and shelling, where hospitals may be destroyed in the shelling, and these portable hospitals come handy. You can quickly set them up, within, as I said, from a gap of 10 to 50 minutes, and you perform necessary medical procedures to help people to save their lives in times of crisis. This is equipped with, of course, you can't do extensive surgeries here, but it is equipped with basic facilities that can provide people first aid, in fact go beyond first aid to provide extensive aid when people are hurt due to shelling or burns, bleeding, or even devastation of buildings. These are generally used in times of disaster, which could include natural disasters like earthquakes, etc., or man-made disaster like the war. So these visuals we are beaming to you from Kyiv, where Prime Minister Modi and President Zelensky thanking Prime Minister Modi for this relief consignment that was sent under Arogya Maitri. And this was basically during the Prime Minister's visit. This was a presentation on the Bhisham Cube, or the Arogya Maitri Bhisham Cube. Cube is basically that a portable hospital that you will see that we've been playing in a loop on your screens. It's basically like a tent. You can set it up. It has basic medical facilities, instruments, medicines, and it's a revolutionary mobile hospital which is equipped with cutting-edge technology developed by the GOI, or the Government of India, as part of Project Bhisham. Okay, so the Bharat Health Initiative for Sahyog, meaning cooperation, Hita, meaning welfare, Hit, meaning welfare, and Maitri, meaning friendship. The world's first portable hospital, Arogya Maitri Aid Cube, is designed to provide essential healthcare services in disaster-struck areas and emergencies, and can treat up to 200 casualties for about as long as 72 hours. It's equipped with medical essentials, innovative tools, artificial intelligence, to enhance disaster response and medical support. In case of Ukraine, it comes a lot handy when there is shelling, when there is destruction, or there is arty fire, etc., or bombardment. The cube makes it easy. It's easy to transport. Humans can carry it themselves or on a cycle. It can be dropped through drones. AI and data analytics help with coordination, monitoring, and management of the medical services in the field. Okay, so all right, Prime Minister Modi with.
लेकिन जब आज मैं उन बालकों की स्मृति में बनाए हुए म्यूजियम को आपके साथ जाकर के अपने श्रद्धा सुमन अर्पित कर रहा था तो मेरा मन भर आया था, दिल को गहरी चोट पहुंची थी। और मुझे लगता है कि युद्ध की सबसे पहली कैजुअलिटी किसकी होती है तो निर्दोष बालकों की होती है, और वो बहुत दर्दनाक होता है। किसी भी सुसंस्कृत समाज में जो मानवीय मूल्यों में विश्वास करते हैं उनके लिए, और जो एक संवेदनशील व्यक्ति होते हैं उनके लिए इस प्रकार की घटनाएं कतई स्वीकार नहीं हो सकती हैं। दुनिया में मानवीय मूल्यों में विश्वास करने वाला कोई भी व्यक्ति इसको स्वीकार नहीं कर सकता है। एथेंस इस दर्दनाक परिस्थितियों के बीच भी आपने जिस गर्मजोश से मेरा और मेरे डेलीगेशन का स्वागत किया, इसके लिए मैं हृदय से आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। एक्सेलेंसी, आज का दिवस भारत और यूक्रेन के संबंधों के लिए एक बहुत ही ऐतिहासिक दिवस है, क्योंकि भारत का प्रधानमंत्री आज पहली बार यूक्रेन की धरती पर आ रहा है। ये अपने आप में एक ऐतिहासिक घटना है। कल आपका नेशनल डे है। ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण दिवस है। मेरी तरफ से 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की तरफ से मैं आपके नेशनल डे अनेक अनेक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं, और मैं कामना करता हूं शांति के लिए, सुख और समृद्धि के लिए। एक्सेलेंसी, 2021 में ग्लासगो में मिले थे और पहली ही मुलाकात में एक गहरी मित्रता का अनुभव कर रहे थे, और तब आपने मुझे यूक्रेन आने के लिए बहुत ही आग्रह से निमंत्रण दिया था। लेकिन मैं कल्पना नहीं कर सकता हूं कि मुझे ऐसी परिस्थिति में यूक्रेन आने की नौबत आएगी। एक्सेलेंसी, हमारे द्विपक्षीय संबंधों में ऐसी विपरीत कालखंड में भी प्रगति हो रही है, और मैं कह सकता हूं कि ऐसे तनावपूर्ण वातावरण में ये प्रगति हम दोनों देशों की मैच्योरिटी को प्रतिबिंबित करती है। एक्सेलेंसी, मैं आज बड़े आदरपूर्वक मेरी उस भावना को व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं कि जब युद्ध के प्रारंभिक दिन थे, भारत के हजारों बच्चे जो यहाँ शिक्षा के लिए आए थे, पढ़ने के लिए आए थे, वो उस युद्ध के कारण फंसे हुए थे। उनको बाहर निकालने में आपने जो मदद की और जिस संवेदनशीलता के साथ हमारी चिंताओं को आपने समझा और सुलझाने के लिए भरसक प्रयास किया, इसके लिए मेरी तरफ से, मेरे देश के 140 करोड़ नागरिकों की तरफ से और उस संकट की घड़ी से निकल करके आए हुए उन बच्चों के, उनके परिवारजनों की तरफ से आपका आज मैं हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। एक्सेलेंसी, आप भी भली भांति जानते हैं और पूरा विश्व भी जानता है कि युद्ध के समय हमने 2 प्रकार की भूमिकाओं का रास्ता अपनाया और उस भूमिका को निभाने का हमने भरपूर प्रयास किया है। हमारी पहली भूमिका रही है मानवीय दृष्टिकोण की। ऐसे संकट की घड़ी में बहुत सारी रिक्वायरमेंट रहती है, जिन रिक्वायरमेंट को पूरा करने के लिए भारत ने हो सका उतना एक मानवीय दृष्टिकोण को केंद्र में रखते हुए पूरा करने का प्रयास किया है। और मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि मानवीय दृष्टिकोण से भी जिस प्रकार की मदद की आवश्यकता होगी, भारत हमेशा हमेशा आपके साथ खड़ा रहेगा और 2 कदम आगे चलेगा। एक्सेलेंसी, हमने जो दूसरा मार्ग चुना वो दूसरा मार्ग है युद्ध से दूर रहने का। हम बहुत ही कन्विक्शन के साथ युद्ध से दूर रहे हैं, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम तटस्थ थे, हम न्यूट्रल नहीं थे। हम पहले दिन से ही पक्षकार रहे हैं और हमारा पक्ष है शांति का। हम बुद्ध की धरती से आते हैं जहां युद्ध को कोई स्थान नहीं होता है। हम महात्मा गांधी की धरती से आते हैं जिसने पूरे विश्व को शांति का संदेश दिया है। एक्सेलेंसी, मैं आज जब यूक्रेन आया हूं तब मैं 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की भावना को लेकर के आया हूं और 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की भावना मानवता से प्रेरित है। और मैं आज यूक्रेन की धरती पर शांति का संदेश लेकर के आया। एक्सेलेंसी, यहां से पहले मैंने ग्लोबल साउथ की कॉन्फ्रेंस की, करीब 120 देश के लोग थे। मैं उनकी तरफ से भी शांति का संदेश लेकर के आया। एक्सेलेंसी, आप भली भांति जानते हैं, यूक्रेन के लोग भी भली भांति जानते हैं कि शांति के हर प्रयास में भारत का सक्रिय योगदान रहा है। और आप भली भांति जानते हैं कि हमारा अप्रोच पीपल सेंट्रिक रहा है। और मैं आपको भी और पूरे विश्व समुदाय को विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं, और वो भारत का कमिटमेंट है। और हम स्पष्ट मानते हैं कि संप्रभुता और क्षेत्रीय अखंडता का सम्मान हमारे लिए सर्वोपरि है। हम उसका समर्थन करते हैं। कुछ समय पहले समरकंद में जब राष्ट्रपति पुतिन से मैं मिला तब मीडिया के सामने आंख से आंख मिला करके मैंने उनको कहा था कि ये युद्ध का समय नहीं है। मैं पिछले दिनों रशिया के मुलाकात के लिए गया था। वहां भी मैंने साफ साफ शब्दों में अपनी बात कही है कि किसी भी समस्या का समाधान रणभूमि में कभी भी नहीं होता है। समाधान का रास्ता बातचीत से ही निकलता है, डायलॉग से निकलता है, डिप्लोमेसी से निकलता है। और हमने बिना समय गंवाए उस दिशा में आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। दोनों पक्षों को साथ बैठ करके इस संकट की घड़ी से बाहर निकलने के रास्ते तलाशने होंगे। एक्सेलेंसी, आज हम जब रूबरू मिल रहे हैं तब मैं यूक्रेन की धरती पर, और आप जब मैं बच्चों की शहादत को उस जगह को देख करके आया और मेरा मन भरा हुआ है, तब मैं आज आपसे शांति की ओर आगे बढ़ने के मार्ग पर विशेष रूप से चर्चा करना चाहूँगा। एक्सेलेंसी, मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूँ कि शांति के हर प्रयास में भारत अपनी सक्रिय भूमिका निभाने के लिए तैयार है। व्यक्तिगत रूप से मैं भी अगर इसमें कोई योगदान कर सकता हूं तो मैं जरूर करना चाहूँगा। एक मित्र के रूप में मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूँ। एक्सेलेंसी, मैं आज जब आया हूँ पर नेशनल डे है, मैं चाहूँगा कि हम सब जल्दी से जल्दी शांति के सूरज को उगता हुआ देखें। मेरी तरफ से शांति के हर प्रयास में सक्रिय योगदान की भूमिका के साथ आपके स्वागत सत्कार के लिए मैं हृदय से आपका बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ।
So that was Prime Minister Narendra Modi talking to President Zelensky in a statement in his talk on public talk on with President Zelensky. He told President Zelensky that I today, when I visited the Martyrology Exposition Museum, I could feel the pain. He said that in any civilized society, such sort of an activity is completely unacceptable. He said, I was touched, I was agitated, I was pained, and in the midst of these circumstances, I thank you for welcoming me and my delegation here in Ukraine. He said this is a historic visit, as this is the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Ukraine. He also congratulated President Zelensky on the National Day of Ukraine. Tomorrow is the National Day of Ukraine, and he said when we he said, I still remember when we met for the first time personally in 2021 in Glasgow. I had immediately struck a deep friendship with you, and I had taken we had taken a mutual liking for each other. It was then you had invited me to come and visit Ukraine. Little did I know then that I shall be visiting Ukraine under such circumstances, referring to the war. He said that it speaks of the maturity of the relationship between the two countries, that the mutual or the bilateral relationship is making progress even in these trying times. He said he also thanked President Zelensky for helping Indian students who were studying in Ukraine. Thanking the Indian students while studying, who were studying in the at the time of war, when the war broke out. He thanked for allowing them and helping them leave Ukraine. He said, I thank you for myself, on my behalf, on behalf of 1.4 billion Indians, and also the parents of those who could safely leave Ukraine when the war broke out. He spoke about the approaches to the war. He said there are, India has taken two approaches to the war. One, primarily a humanitarian approach, and he said that this sort of a humanitarian approach guided our assistance efforts, and he assured President Zelensky that he will continue to stand by Ukraine and keep providing such humanitarian assistance. Second, he said our approach was to stay away from war. But very interestingly, he said we were accused of being neutral in the war. He said we were not neutral. We took sides. India did take sides. This is what Prime Minister Modi told President Zelensky. He said we were on the side of peace. He said, I come from the land of Buddha. I come from the land of Gandhi. I bring a message of peace. And I bring this message of peace not just from India, not just from the 1.4 billion Indians that I represent as the head of their government, but I bring a message of peace also from the entire global south. He said, we've adopted a people-centric approach. We support your government. We support your country. We clearly support you when it comes to sovereignty and maintaining sovereignty and territorial integrity. He said force should not be allowed to change that anywhere in the world. He said, I told that exactly to President Putin, looking him in the eye when I met him, saying this is not an era of war. He said, when I recently met him, I told him that differences cannot be resolved, solutions cannot be found on the battlefield. They have to be found through dialogue and diplomacy. He said, I urge you to walk the same path of peace. So primarily saying that, as I urged President Putin, I urge you to walk the path of peace, and India will continue to support you as you walk this path of peace. India will continue its cooperation. He said, I personally, if I can do anything to play a part to bring about peace, I'm ready for that. That's what Prime Minister Narendra Modi told President Zelensky when he met him one-on-one, and that was a public utterance. My colleague Jessica Taneja joins me with more from the newsroom. Jessica, we heard the Prime Minister speak to President Zelensky. What, according to you, were the salient points of what he said, what he told President Zelensky? You were there in Russia when he was speaking to President Putin.
Right, and this address, of course, has put out the message very clear from the Indian Prime Minister, who said that peace is the way forward, and as he has mentioned those particular statements in various previous multilateral forums, as well as his personal engagements in the past, where India wants to put forth the idea of dialogue and diplomacy, and of course find a peaceful resolution. If there is a peace plan in place, India would help facilitate that and of course support it, but of course that would have both sides on the table. But with the Prime Minister's address saying that we are on the side of peace, something that the Prime Minister feels will resonate with the community at large, especially with the West as well at this point. As you see, the war still rages on. The area is not as peaceful as we'd imagined, and the continuous halt of various supplies, also sort of disrupting supply chains, which it has in the past as well, and nothing particularly has changed since then. And since 2022 in February, we're now in almost ending in August 2024. It still continues while both the sides are engaged, particularly when it comes to an incursion on either side of the territory. So no resolution in sight, but the Prime Minister's message is clear that India stands on the side of peace, and that is what it will continue to propagate in the future as well.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Jessica, also, he said that when he visited that museum today where the Martyrology exposition is being held, he felt the pain. He said there is no place for this sort of destruction, for this kind of activity in any civilized society. He said, this is absolutely unacceptable to anybody who has an iota of sensitivity. What was the messaging the Prime Minister was trying to do?
Well, the emphasis on the lives of the children lost is certainly significant and signals the fact that India's deep concerns over the violation of human rights in the region that have been witnessed in the recent past, with various human rights agencies also probing and pulling out various facts from the ground, saying that there is a desperate need to support children who are unable to go to school after war-ravaged, a war-torn country that has potentially seen most of its infrastructure damaged at this point, where children continue to be in their homes. And you're looking at Kyiv right now, which is nearing winter, and that could perhaps be a very difficult time as well. With the focus on the war at this point and how it's proceeding, it doesn't seem to be looking towards the end of conflict. But then again, if there is a peace plan in place which could facilitate some movement or some discussion between the two, that would be certainly an acceptable solution to the rest of the world as well. But how acceptable is it to the two sides that are currently engaged in a fierce battle on either side of each of the country's territories is something which the world watches very closely. And children, unfortunately, and women of course, the collateral damage in this entire war that continues to not just affect geopolitics, but also the entire security architecture of the region.
Absolutely. And my reading, Jessica, to add to what you just said, I thought that with the Prime Minister, making that public utterance to President Zelensky was also an emotional appeal to the warring parties, to the players involved in this conflict, that if not for the sake of reason, but for the sake of your children, for the sake of humanity, for sake of loss of innocent lives, stop this war now. I think that was, apart from what you said, was the messaging that Prime Minister was trying to do. Appeal to the voice, be the voice of reason, appeal to reason, but appeal to human emotion, saying that this is where we have come, that we've raised, that your children are dying and the world feels that pain. He also talked, Jessica, about bringing a message of peace, of course, from the land of Gandhi and the land of Buddha. But he said it's a message of peace from the entire global South. What was he trying to convey to President Zelensky?
Well, certainly it's also in India's interest to have a stable international order where trade ties continue, general security architecture remains unthreatened, and that perhaps also lies, and all that these are the kind of concerns that India has also had in the past, but not spelt out in more ways than one. But with this visit, if you heard what the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar also stressed upon, is the fact that this conflict has not helped in any way from the time it started to the time it is now, where we're seeing that Ukrainians, of course, also claiming territory in Russia. This doesn't seem to be ending at all. So in that, the messaging that continues to emphasize and focus on a conflict resolution was something that Indian side wanted to sort of, leave with, and that message perhaps should resonate, because with India's emerging, power and its global presence, and especially Prime Minister's relationship with various other leaders in the world, could bring about some kind of stable structure, so to say. And if you'd see, Amrit, it's important to point out that the Prime Minister is one of the few leaders who visited Ukraine after it was invaded by Russia. Previously, you saw the South African leader there, you saw the Indonesian leader there, but of course, apart from being a first visit of any Indian Prime Minister to Ukraine, this certainly is significant in the current geopolitical setup as well.
Absolutely. Jessica, we'll leave it there. Many thanks for joining us for the moment.